Hello, welcome to Nerdy Couch on this fine and lovely Saturday. It is noon hour. I see there's a few people already here, so thank you for coming. Thanks for joining. Let me know if you can hear me okay, if you are in the chats today. Looking to do
Thanks
about
for joining. Let me know if
oh, that's good. I get turned down.
okay if you are.
That's a noob move right there. That's what that is. Got to turn your mobile devices down. Step number one. So, looking to do about a half-hour show today. I can't go too far over that on account of got some stuff to do. It is the party of my little nephew Brody. He's recently turned 4, and we'll be celebrating that today. I've got Jarvis, the nerdy dog, under the table here, and he keeps pulling at my stuff. Hopefully, he doesn't knock everything over. The agenda today, we are going to be talking about Shazam, the movie, which I saw last night. And then, if I've got some time, I'd like to show you a few books that I picked up. And, we'll get to that shortly. But before I get to that, I'd like to talk about a few other things. First off, I've just been trying to get my my Instagram up and try to use that a bit more. Been actively trying to grow my subscribers there, so you can find me at Instagram under Nerdy Couch, which is the same as my YouTube channel. And I'd love to see you guys there. Hit me up, chat me up. I'm going to try to be more and more active on that in the near future, and I'm going to try to kind of combine the two things. Secondly, I would like to kind of ask for a favor from the community, and that favor would be that I'm going to a con in August. It's a Fan Expo. That's in Toronto here, and it'll be my first con. It'll be my first expo, aside from smaller things in town here in Woodstock. I've been to a couple of toy shows and collectible shows, but aside from that, this is going to be my first real con. Hey Rob, my brother just showed up. It is let's just see. We'll read up what he said. Oh yeah. It's a beautiful day. Says there my little buddy Brody was smiles when I talk about him. He's adorable. We're gonna be just having kind of a family event to celebrate his birthday. He's, like I said, he's turned 4. He's amazing. Just the recon. How's it going? Discovery Bay, thank you for joining. Like I said, going to be about a half hour here, just talking about a few things. Shazam being the main topic, and I'd like to show some books as well. So I was just getting into asking a question for the community. I'm going to my first con, Fan Expo in August in Toronto here, and I've never been to a con before. I've never had any signatures done, and the only thing that they've announced so far is that Jim Lee will be there. So I would like to approach him, get some signatures. First off, I'd like to ask, what's the going price for a signature nowadays? I'd like to plan ahead. I don't know. I've heard that Jim Lee, sometimes he'll just give his signatures away. Other times he'll charge. I'm not really ready for that. Second off, what kind of books am I looking to get signed? Like, the only book that I have so far is my X-Men 1, and I'll probably get that signed, but I'd like to get some other things signed, but I don't know what to look for. So I'm kind of calling to the community to help me out here. Leave a comment and I would really appreciate your help. If you guys want to just anybody who's not watching the live show here, if you want to skip to the parts where I'm just talking about Shazam, that's perfectly fine with me, because I do have a few things I want to talk about before I get to that. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat. I am very new to this, people. Okay, so if you guys could help me just with a couple suggestions for books to get signed, I would absolutely love that, because it'll be my first attempt at getting some signed stuff. I don't have any signed stuff in my collection yet, and I'm really looking forward to that. Second thing that I wanted to talk about is just quickly YouTube's new policy. They've recently made a policy where YouTube content makers under 1,000 subscribers cannot use a mobile device to stream. And my guess is that that's so that, you know, sicko scumbags can't just create a YouTube channel out of nowhere and stream horrible things, which is perfectly fine with me, except for the fact that I think that it hurts. Thanks, Discovery Bay. I can't tell you how nervous I am, Discovery Bay. I've only done this a few times, and you know, I really appreciate the support. But what I was saying is, I feel like it's going to hurt some smaller YouTube content makers. Recently, I watched a Sam's Tangled Web video, and he was forced to do a recorded video instead of a live video because he's a smaller channel. And Sam's a great guy, and he deserves all the subscribers that we can give him. And I think that as a community, we need to work on getting these small content creators like Sam, Chino's Comics and more, Thoro Kiboro, all great content makers. Discovery Bay, love your show. Lord Tynerius, think I know who that is. Thanks for joining. Again, these are all good content creators. I love watching their shows. Let's come together as a community, build these guys up so that they can do what they need to do, so that they can make the content that we love to watch, and, you know, just help them out, because, you know, there's no reason that Sam should have to worry about whether he can go live or not. He's a great guy, and, you know, let's make sure that he can use all the tools in the arsenal of YouTube, along with these other small content creators. If I missed anybody, there's a lot of content creators I love, and, you know, I don't want to leave anybody out, but I can't name everybody, so I just named a few. But that's all I really got to say about that. YouTube's got their reasons for doing these things, but, you know, and I can't argue with their reasons, but they've got to, you know, you've got to consider some of the small content makers. So let's help them along, guys. Anyway, enough talking about that. I didn't want to spend too much time with that. One more thing before I get into the actual review is the trailer for the Joker, guys. Recently watched it. Seen a lot of people hyping it up and stuff like that. I'm not a huge DC fan, and I'm really trying. And, you know, the movie trailer seemed a bit dull to me. You know, I love Joaquin. I hope it does well, because I think DC needs some successes. Sorry about that. I'm a reader. I like to read, and I'm a slow reader, so it takes me away from the actual show. Sorry about that. To me, it just seemed like 90% of the time, the trailers are chock full of most of the most like the best parts of movies, and if those are the main parts of the movie, I feel like it's going to be a super slow movie. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate over that because everybody loves the Joker, and I think the Joker's a great character. But I don't think this is going to be the movie that turns me on to DC, and that's what I'm looking to do. Is I'm looking to get into DC more, and the movies aren't helping. I'm hoping it does great, but I just don't. I have my worries about it, and everybody seems to think that it looks great, but I don't know. Let me know how you feel about that. Maybe you guys can shed some light on it for me, and give me some encouragement about that movie. Anyway, that's enough talk about that because I don't want to get too much hate about it. Let's see. What do I got else? What else do I got? Oh yeah, Shazam. Shazam. That's what we're here for. The show Gotham. Rob. The show Gotham. I have been having a hard time getting to that show. I've been watching the DC shows. The DC shows, Arrow, like all the Arrowverse shows. I've been watching them. Aside from the only show I haven't really been watching are Gotham and Supergirl. I just can't get into them. They're too much for me as somebody getting into DC for the very first time. Love those shows though. The Flash is amazing. Arrow I've really been enjoying. I don't think they're better than Marvel's. Marvel's had some failures in their shows. And I don't think they're that bad of failures, but Daredevil, I don't think it beats Daredevil. Yeah, you're right. Arrow and Flash are good. I don't think that Daredevil is a lesser show. I think the last season of Daredevil just kicked butt. Yeah, Tinerius, I don't know what they're doing wrong at DC. I don't know if it's a budget thing. I can't see it being a budget thing. They've got to have money coming out of their butts. They can produce good movies. They got to stop following Marvel's footsteps and start creating things that are unique to them. And that's why I think this Joker film could be decent on its own because it's a standalone movie. And I think they need more of these standalone movies because I don't think stringing their movies together for them is working. The Justice League thing, they've done it all wrong. They can't take what DC, or they can't take what Marvel did in 10 years and try to do it in a very short time. It's not working for them. These standalone movies are where they're going to get their success. They're going to get their success from that, and they haven't done it so far. So I'm really hoping for some better DC movies, and that's why I think that Shazam being more lighthearted movie, I think that's better. A better movie for me to get into. And I did see it last night, and I'll start talking about that now. And thanks again for everybody for joining. I never expected to even have an audience. Hi, Stephanie. Oh, Nevin Brody, my little niece and nephew are watching, and they say hello. Thank you. Hi, Nev. Hi, Brody. And Fran, I don't know if you're watching, but you should be. So thanks, guys, for watching. This is my family, and I love them. We'll see you guys later, but for now, we're going to talk about some Shazam. Right from the get-go with Shazam, the trailer, which let's just call it what it is. It's Big 2.0. right? It's Tom Hanks' Big re-altered into a superhero movie is pretty much what it is. And I'm going to try not to give too many spoilers away, although I don't know how to do that properly because I don't know how to talk about I don't know how to talk about a film and talk about everything I like in a film without talking about the parts I like. So, how do people do that? So I do apologize if there's any spoilers. I'll try not to. But the reference to Big, they knew it when they were making this movie because I won't tell you how, but they give a little Easter egg to that movie. I think, unless I'm wrong about it, and tell me if I am, but they knew exactly what they were doing when they made this movie. They knew what it looked like, and there's nothing wrong with that because that was a great movie, and and as far as I'm concerned, so was this one. Anybody in here, has anyone seen the Shazam movie yet? Let me know. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments. If you're catching this on the replay, let me know how you feel about the movie. Let me know if you agree with me in what I'm saying. So Shazam is a DC character. Started out in Wiz Comics #2 back in the 1940s. He was played by, in this movie, he was played by Zachary Levi as the Sham. He's based, in the comic books, he was Captain Marvel, not to be confused with the Marvel's Captain Marvel, which recently came out, which I'm still a Marvel fan, so I'm still going with that movie over this one just because I'm a fanboy and I'm still new to DC. So the Billy Batson, which is the boy who turns into Captain Marvel or Shazam in this movie, was played by Asher Angel, which is a cool name. He did a good part. He played a good part. And the villain was Mark Strong playing Dr. Savannah, I think. All relatively good parts. It was a fun movie. The part of Captain Marvel or Shazam was really well done. He brought a lot of fun to it, and that's what I'm looking for in a movie about a character that I'm not really that much aware of. The just coming into a movie without a lot of knowledge of the character, I thought it was pretty well explained. Yeah, Tiberius, the trailer made it look like a comedy because it was a comedy. Like a good portion of the movie was more comedy than it was action. The trailer shows, like, if you saw the trailer, probably the first half of the movie you've already seen. Like, they pretty much just took it right from the movie, and then you don't really start seeing new stuff until a good portion into the movie. So that's maybe a little disappointing because the first bunch of the movie, I just felt like I was watching recaps of the trailer. So that's I guess a negative for me. But all in all, I still enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of the stuff you kind of saw coming in the first half, strictly because, again, you've seen it already. It's pretty much like watching the trailer for the first half. Second half, there was, because I don't know too much about the character and the comics for that series, there was some twists that I didn't really see coming because, again, I wasn't really clear on the character. Yeah, I know. I try not to watch the trailers, but Tiny Race, I try not to watch the trailers, but they get you. I mean, I honestly didn't even know if I planned on going to see this movie, but then I talked to my lovely girlfriend, and I talked about going to see it, and it was almost last minute. And I'm not gonna lie to you, part of the reason was just because I wanted to talk about it with you guys, and just have some fun with it. The villain in this movie, it was okay. Not stupid, overpacked with like, he wasn't real badass as far as I'm concerned, but it was okay for the type of movie, because it wasn't a full-on action movie to me. It was more of a big style, I found my superhero, or it was an origin story too. So you can't have an origin story without it being a little bit slow at the beginning, which I wouldn't say it's slow. It was still interesting. I don't know who plays the handy-capable kid in the foster home, but that kid was absolutely hilarious and probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. Sorry, gotta wet the old whistle. All in all, I would say the movie's worth the watch. It's definitely worth going to see. If you haven't seen it already, part of the reason I like to do these reviews in the opening weekend is because I don't see a point in telling people about a movie they've already seen. So that's part of that reason. But I would rate this movie, probably give it up there in the 7 or 8 out of 10. It wasn't great. I refer to this movie as, it was pretty good for a DC movie, and that's that says something. I don't know what it says, because DC's been having some failures, but I think this is probably their first success in a while. I wasn't a huge fan of Aquaman. Anything before that, and after, like, the Batman series was just trash as far as I was concerned. So I'm happy to see this one, and I think that this is their first real success. Hopefully Joker's not terrible, because I want that to be a success. I don't think that the Joker's going to tie into anything. It's going to be a standalone movie. But yeah, I don't know really what else to say about Shazam without just absolutely spoiling the movie, and I don't want to do that for you guys. So if there's anything you guys would like about to discuss about Shazam, I'll go ahead and ask, because I'm without giving anything away, I'm not really I'm kind of at a loss of words here. Yeah, Rob, I don't like trailers either. They give way too much. You know what? I was just thinking that. I was absolutely just thinking that. A while back, me and my brother Rob were just super excited to go see Godzilla, and I can't remember what year that was. Because there's been a ton of Godzilla movies that have come out, but I don't know if y'all remember, but the full trailer, and they made longer trailers afterwards, but we forbid them. We did not watch them. We could not watch them. But the one trailer we watched was brilliant, and it literally just had the title, Godzilla, and then a big foot came down and crushed it. And it did not show one clip from the movie. And we were absolutely blown away by that trailer, because it gave nothing away. It gave you the title, and then this big ass foot came down and crushed it. And I think more previews need to be like that, because, like I said, Shazam here gave half their movie away in the preview. And I literally felt like I was watching the preview for the good first portion of this movie. Oh, thank you very much, Discovery Bay. I'm new to this, and I always forget that nitty-gritty stuff. The thumbs up and the likes and stuff are always appreciated. 1998 was the date of the movie for the what am I talking about, Rob? The Godzilla movie that I was talking about. One of the most brilliant trailers I've ever seen, because honestly, I'm sick of seeing half the movie before it's released. You know, give me some tidbits. You know, some of the stuff that Marvel's doing with their phony trailers, I don't even mind that so much. Yeah, I didn't even mind so much when they were giving those kind of fake tidbits out, because it threw you off. You know, like you saw the movie and you didn't feel like the trailer had given everything away. In fact, you were surprised that you didn't see something, or you were surprised that something turned out differently than what it was on the trailer. I don't mind that. It's kind of a guessing game at that point. And I don't think trailers should give a movie away. I think these trailers should inspire you to see a movie. So, anyway, guys, I am getting close to a half hour, and I need to start getting ready to get to the birthday event for a very, very special boy named Brody. But before that, I will show you a few comics that I picked up, because I want to show you guys these comics. Yeah, Tiberius, I agree with you. You know, I just make a preview talking about the movie. Don't give any of the movie away. Thanks a lot, Discovery, for coaching a few people into how to do the likes and stuff like that. It's really appreciated. I appreciate all my subscribers, everybody who likes, everybody who watches, everybody who spreads the word. Again, we got to get these small content makers, and we've got to grow them, because that's how we're going to grow our community. Quickly, I'm going to show you a few books. I don't know if I'm going to show them all to you, because, oh, goodness gracious, drink time. I'm just going to show you a few, and I'm going to have to make a separate video about some of the other ones. I'm going to go through some of these quickly. Picked these up recently, a lot of them for $1, except for maybe the last couple, which are super good comics to have in my collection. First, Image 1. I think I picked that up for under $1, and I don't have it. I love the cover on this. You've got your Spawn, your Savage Dragon. I think we've got Max up there. A lot of good characters there. So I just picked this one up for the cover. Go quickly on these ones because I got to get going. Mars Attacks Image number 1. Oh, sorry. These can't see none of these. And with all that glare, that's the troubles. Okay, well, Discovery Bay, thanks for coming. Take care, and hopefully we'll catch you on the on your next show. We've got Cable number 2. Big ass Cable on the front there. That's a nice book. I like it. I like it a lot. Sticking with the Cable theme. We've got Prophet Cable. That is a #1 from Maximum Press. Sorry if I'm going through these quickly. Then we've got #4 for that one. Cable and the Prophet. Try to get the whole book in there. Power through some of these. Trying to get a bit more Conan in my life. So we've got Conan versus Rune. That is #1. And this is #4 for Conan versus Rune. And I'm going to skip some of these books because I don't think they're that important. I like this one. Picked this one up for I think it was $1. Red Sonja, #1. It's got some decolorization, maybe a little bit of rust down the spine. Other than that, it's in pretty good shape. Spider-Woman 50. I really like this cover. It's not in the best shape. It's got, again, some coloring down the spine, and it has got a photo cover, so that's cool. Nice to have that. This book here is absolutely awesome. I love this book. Used to watch this show, Gargoyles, #1. Anybody watch that show as a kid? That was a great show, and glad to have this book. I've been looking for that book for a little while, but I didn't want to pay much for it, and I didn't. So I do have 2 more really, really cool books, but I don't know if I should show them. I got enough time. I'll show you one. Show you this one because I'm really, really excited to show it. This is the Ghost Rider #1. This is the, I think, 1937 is when this book was produced. February of 1937. It's a 12-cent cover, and it does have some pencil marks. I'm not certain if you can make the pencil marks out on a couple of the letters, but I think that can be cleaned up. Yes, Gargoyles. Loved it. Loved the show. I would watch it again. In fact, I probably will watch it again very shortly. Absolutely love the Gargoyles, and I'm excited to read through that one. Back to this book though. It's in pretty rough shape. It's got a lot of spine damage down here. Again, we've got the pencil markings. Pages are pretty yellowed, but I paid next to nothing for this book, so I will pick it up for the price that I found it for any day of the week. And it is a Silver Age comic, and I believe it might even be my first Silver Age comic. So we are moving up in the world. Got some Bronze Age, but excuse me, we are gonna have another drink because I'm parched. I'm parched. Parched people. But this book here is, like I said, 1937 Ghost Rider. That is not the Ghost Rider we know with all the flames and stuff like that. This is the origins of the Ghost Rider. He who rides in the wind, or what does it say? I don't know. Anyway, this is the story's about a guy named what's his name? What is his name? Something Slade, and he is a teacher going to a frontier town to start teaching, and the what appears to be some Indians, or that's what they refer to them in the book. Don't yell at me. Hi, honey. Are you trying to let the nerdy dog out? The chair's there. Just leave him. Just leave him. Does everyone want to say hi to Jarvis? Come here. Hey, Jarvis. Come on, bud. Come on. Come here. Okay, fine. You love mom more than me. Another day, I guess. Anyway, he comes into the frontier town for work. What appears to be Indians are killing all the frontier townspeople. And he, Slade, tries to protect them, and one of them shoots him. Later on, you find out that the I don't feel like I'm giving any of this away because this book's ancient. Later on, you find out that the Indians are just white folk in disguise, and they're trying to drive people away from the land for this baddie, and so that they can claim the land for themselves and build on that land. And anyway, Slade, he goes. He doesn't go, but a child finds him. One of the survivors finds him and tries to take him to a hospital, or to medicine men. And they lose their way, and they're found by an actual native tribe, who their tribe leader, which I had the name of the tribe leader in the back of my head, and I can't remember it now, but he ends up blessing Slade with this powder this white powder that it's a silly story. There's this white powder that the gods had given him, and they've given it to Slade because they believe Slade is a prophet, and the gods have brought him back to life, and they give him this powder, and then essentially Slade goes back and says, okay, we have this powder, what do we do with it? It glows in the dark. So he's like, oh, if I put it on an outfit and then I slather it all over my horse that I got, which is the horse's name is Banshee. Cool name for a horse. And then it'll glow and it'll look like a ghost. Hence the Ghost Rider thing. And then somehow it's given him powers that he can. He's almost ghost-like. He can ghost translucent, trans whatever, and then he goes and he fights the baddies, and saves the town and stuff like that. And that's the basics of the story. He has the power to kind of almost like go into a ghostly form. By the sounds of this book. This is the first I've really read of this book, but it's a bit of a silly book. Warning, if you're going to read this book, it is a tad bit racist. I'd give it probably a 5 on the racist scale. They do have some derogatory terms for natives, and yeah, they use them a lot. So yeah, it was a different time back then. Let's just say Indian is not the worst word they use for them. So yeah, that's it's a fun book, and it's a kind of a look into a different age of thinking. So I don't know whether they changed the story of the Ghost Rider, or whether they just made. I don't know if this Ghost Rider has anything to do with the new Ghost Rider, whether it links in somehow, whether a torch is passed. That's something I'll look into. Yes, is the newer Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze? Is he more interesting? Yes, I'll agree with you. And I'm gonna keep reading this series just because I know of a place where I can get the next couple copies, the next couple numbers in this series, and I'm gonna work on getting those. And I'll keep reading it for that reason. But no, you're right, Tiberius. The new Ghost Rider's a much better story. It's more interesting. But you know, for that time, I bet you it was something special. It's kind of like a Cowboys and Indian kind of style story. So you know, back then, you know, that's what was in. So anyway, guys, I hope you like this video. I have to start getting ready for the event. Also, forgot to mention, I will be. I've been asked to go over to my buddy Josh's for his Off Kilter Syndicate show. He's got some filming he wants to do. I have no clue what that's going to entail, so it's going to be a surprise to me. But I will link that to my channel so that you guys can see that and check them out, because they're great guys. They do off-road stuff and ATV stuff, all that stuff that I'm not really into, but I'll get into it for them. You know, I'll be more active for them, I suppose. You know, try to thin this frame out. So I hope you guys like the show. Unfortunately, I don't know if I had much to say about the actual movie, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I'm really trying not to spoil it, because I want you guys to experience it for yourself. And I feel like the trailer spoiled it too much already. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign off. Like Discovery Bay said, like and subscribe, guys. Keep watching. Please help me build this channel. Help some of the other small content creators build those channels. Let's just build this community more and more, guys. All right, guys. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, guys.